What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here, thanks for stopping by. Today's video we got some player news here for you guys in regards to some upcoming events for the next 2 days. Now there's a couple different events for each day, so I'm going to break it down per day here. So let's get started here. First day on Thursday we have a 24-hour event, and it's going to be right here. It's going to be a progressive event. We've been having more of these 1 day only progressive events on top of our usual weekend events, so it's getting kind of crazy. But this one, it starts on Thursday. It's going to have a couple exclusive faction unity champions in it, so probably just Plarium trying to produce some FOMO or a fear of missing out, or just give us more opportunities to try to get these champions. But first off here, we have Admiral Black Tusk, which is the unity champion for the dwarves faction here. He's the spirit-based dwarf right here. Good base stats overall. The cool thing about him is that he has this really powerful cleanse and then ally attack on a 3-turn cooldown. It's actually really strong. One of the best ally attacks in the whole game. He has a bunch of different stun mechanics in his kit. He has an A1 stun. He has a A3 that strips and then stuns. The faction ally bonuses help him with his buff removal, as well as some additional benefits to this ability if enemies are killed when they're under stunned, and a damage boost to your whole team if you're attacking enemies that are stunned. Now, probably the coolest thing about Black Tusk is his passive here, where if you have 3 faction allies, at the start of each round places Stone Skin buff on all allies for 1 turn. Now, this might be something that you may or may not know, but the stone skin placed by this ability is not the same stone skin that you get from the gear set. So if you go to the info tab here, and if you look up the stone skin buff, yes, there is additional notes in here that can be useful. But if you look up the stone skin buff here, so stone skin can decreases the damage, except the damage received from bombs and HP burn, remove all debuffs except bombs and HP burn, gives immunity to all debuffs, also gives additional HP. A champion with stone skin is immune to decrease max HP and decrease turn meter effects. So this is what the buff does. It is slightly different than the buff you get from the stone skin set. So for example, if you go into your champions, you're equipped with stone skin, you look at the stone skin set, it says give stone skin buff at the start of round 1, at the start of the round for 1 turn, 50% chance of blocking removals or steals. Now this percentage chance to block removals or steals is not incorporated into the Black Tusk stone skin buff. It's just a regular stone skin buff. So you don't have that kind of protection from your stone skin buff from removals. So although you can build a team with stone skin, it's not going to be the same stone skin that you get from the gear set. I thought that was kind of interesting, maybe something that not everybody knows or something that was overlooked. But yeah, so that's Admiral Black Tusk. He does seem not too bad, obviously very good for faction wars and all that. Up next, we have the Shadowkin faction unity champion, and it's going to be Tetssuya. Tetssuya here. He is a damage dealer, brings tons and tons of damage, huge base attack here. Has an A3 here that steals 100% of turn meter and then places True Fear. Has an A2 here with ignore defense equal to the target's current turn meter. So if you attack a target with high turn meter, he's going to get a high amount of ignore defense, which is really cool. This number could be obviously very massive. And if you choose to attack an enemy with low turn meter, he gets an extra hit. So either way, you're going to get a lot of damage out of this ability, his A2. And then if he kills somebody, he can reset the skill cooldown on this ability. His faction ally bonuses are a little bit on the selfish side, so he gets boosted up when there's more allies on the field. So his True Fear becomes irresistible. He gains additional damage based on the difference of speed. And then he also produces a AoE attack instead of just a single target attack if they have 50% or more turn meter. His second passive here boosts his turn meter whenever enemies take a turn, which is pretty insane. Turn meter effects becomes more and less effective against him and his allies. His damage increases whenever his turn meter is filled up. And lastly, 3 faction allies. All allies are immune to turn meter reduction effects. So he has something that benefits the whole team as well. This guy, I think he does a lot of damage, obviously, for Shadowkin. Shadowkin's not too starved for damage dealers. But yeah, pretty strong powerhouse champion here for this faction. He's going to be up for grabs for 24 hours only on Thursday. Up next, we have the third faction unity champion in this list for Thursday, and it's going to be Cowdor here. So Blade Chorister Cowdor. This guy works off of continuous heals. He's another damage dealer. Now, Sylvan Watchers is a faction that struggles with really strong legendary damage dealers. So having another one here is going to be really good. Very strong base attack here. As an AoE A1 stun ability here, his A3 is a single target strip, decrease defense, and weaken. Gain some benefits if they have continuous heals on this champion. And then his A2 here, which is really an interesting move because it's like a support move. So it has some flexibility in that it can help your team or it can just deal damage as well. It places either poisons or continuous heals, which kind of helps his A3 here because he ignores target's defense for each poison and continuous heal on this champion. So there's obvious synergy here with some of his Sylvan Watcher allies. It's kind of an interesting ability, but it requires quite a bit of setup. I haven't done any serious testing with this guy on a test server or anything, but I'm pretty sure there's probably some really cool combinations or team comps you can put together with him for him to do a little bit of extra damage. His passive here also boosts his damage by ignoring target defense when he's attacking under Veil. He also receives less damage as well when he's under Veil, and he gains some damage benefits from continuous heal here as well. So overall, like, it's kind of cool to see that Plarium is leaning into this kind of theme for the Sylvan Watchers, but it just kind of makes it so that he needs a really strong supporting cast to make him really shine. All right, so moving on to the Void Champions. So we have 3 faction unity champions up for grabs, but the Void Champions here are also really strong. In the Shadowkin faction, we have Yumico. She's going to be up for grabs. Her biggest draw is still basically being really strong in the Hydra Trunda teams, where she brings her A3, decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 3 turns, and increase the cooldown of all enemy skills by 3 turns. Now, this ability is really strong because when you have multiple Yumikos, they can reset each other. Of course, this ability can be really good in places like Arena, where you can lock out your enemy as well. But obviously, with champions like Fabian being more accessible before, being a fusion and all that, more people have access to lockout champions. Obviously, Alice was lockout champion as well. So this ability has kind of lost its specialness, but make no mistake, Yumico is very special in that she can reset each other or reset herself. Still an amazing champion. Moving on to the next Void here, we have Incenza Grailbearer. So she is from the Sylvan Watchers here. I have Incenza myself, and she is awesome. Interesting stat distribution here, but it doesn't matter. She's still an awesome champion. Accuracy in all battles. She brings AoE, decreased defense, and weaken on a 3-turn cooldown. Ignore block buffs. Her A2 is it's pretty special because no one else really does the Poison Cloud buff. Increase speed, 2 continuous heals, and then increase turn meter by 50%. Now, the way I use this in my Hydra teams is basically you can put this on your champion that has low HP. And at that stage, once they have the Poison Cloud on, they can only receive non-crit hits, which means they take significantly less damage. And then obviously the boosted turn meter and then the continuous heals work together to basically heal up the champion. Or if you just want to squeeze out more damage from your damage dealer, 50% turn meter is very good there as well to squeeze out more turns. Her A1 is also very good. It's an AoE, decreased defense, and it's also an ally attack where your highest crit damage champion comes in and attacks with you. Her kit overall is very good. Slap her in a Hex set, and now she can provide you with Hex as well for Hydra. So yeah, very strong champion as well, mainly for PvE content. And then lastly, for the Void Champions, coming from the Dwarves, it's going to be Arnorn The Shining. Arnorn The Shining, very fun champion. He's a DPS champion, and yeah, he hits pretty good. We got an A1 stun here. We got an A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. It's a double hit, single target. Damage increase for each 10% HP this champion has lost. So the lower HP he has, the more damage he will do. If the target is under 2 or more buffs, will ignore 35% of the target's defense. That's a substantial amount. And then gains an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. His A3, attack all enemies, ignore, increase defense, strengthen, and shields. Unfortunately, no ignore stone skin. If this attack kills an enemy, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 50%. This effect cannot be resisted. This is very strong. If it kills somebody, 50% turn meter pushback is, it could be the nail in the coffin. Absolute powerhouse move here on a 4-turn cooldown. But his passive is what makes him really, really cool. He gains passive attack, which is very strong, but his active ability here, when he receives a fatal hit, prevent his death and keep him at 1 HP. Places Stone Skin on him for 1 turn. This instantly activates the Wrath of Rothgleim skill, which is his A3. So if he dies, he comes back with 1 HP, or actually he just stays at 1 HP with the Stone Skin, and then he uses his AoE. And if it kills somebody, it pushes back to turn meter, which is irresistible. So this can definitely catch people off guard. So if you don't properly try to kill this guy, or prepared for his AoE, the AoE is going to kill you, push back your whole team. His team's going to get some turns, recover, and then you're going to be in for some hurt. He's a very cool champion, can be used for live arena and all that, because he does have the built-in survivability here, and he does boost his own attack, which is kind of cool, but he doesn't have the plus attack. Still a very, very cool champion. All of this will be available for 24 hours only, starting on Thursday. These are pretty bait events. I mean, it's a progressive chance. So the non-voids, you're looking at about 7% chance to pull them. And then the voids, you're looking at about 20, a little bit worse than 20% to pull them. It's not ideal to pull for these, but you know, if you have a lot of money or a lot of shards, or if you really want them, or if you're close to Mercy, you can take your shot on Thursday. Now, we do have a second piece of news here, and it's going to be the event starting on Friday. And here it is. So on Friday, we have a 2x boost for Sacred Shards. That was expected based on the rotation that we know of. So we're going to be seeing double chance for legendaries from Sacred Shards. It's going to go from 6% up to 12%. And there is also going to be a 10x boost for one of the newer champions in this game from the Dwarves faction. We have Yuzel of the Jade, another damage dealing dwarf, 1500 base attack. Now the thing with Yuzel is that he gains a lot of benefit from taking extra turns. He has an A3 ability here that ignores 100% of the target's defense if you used it on an extra turn or instant turn. Also ignores Stone Skin, so it's absolute powerhouse ability here from Yuzel, but it does benefit off of the extra turn mechanic. Now he does have ways to take extra turns in his kit. His A1 here has a 20% chance of gaining an extra turn. If it kills an ally or it kills an enemy, then he gets an extra turn. His A2 here also has a chance to gain an extra turn. So you could use these abilities and lead into his A3, or you can have a champion give him an instant turn. So we're looking at like Suzanne here, and then he can use this ability right away. His passive gives him additional benefits from taking extra turns. And this has been clarified so that only allies with extra turn mechanics will gain this benefit. Not everybody on your team will gain a flat 5% to gain an extra turn. So they must already have an extra turn mechanic in your kit to gain this 5%, which is a little bit of a bummer because in the beginning the wording said made it seem that the whole team got 5% chance to gain an extra turn, which is like insanely powerful, of course, but they watered this down and then they clarified it a little bit with the wording. But yeah, really, really cool champ. It's a 10x starting on Friday, and that event's going to last, I believe, 3 days. Now, keep in mind, a 10x is worse than a 15x progressive, so the chance of you getting Yuzel of the Jade is actually even less than 7% that we're looking at for the Faction Unity champions. So it's a little bit of a long shot, but hey, he's in the pool and he's boosted up. He's a pretty cool champ, so if you get him, it's happy days. Now, in terms of what's going to happen on the weekend, corresponding with this 2x Sacred Shard and this 10x Yuzel of the Jade, we're going to take a look at the player and play calendar here. So right here, it doesn't really show the event that's going to be happening on the weekend. However, it should be a champion chase event if the rotation is going to be, kept in order. So because last week we had a summon rush. However, it is still possible that it could be something else. It could be something else. We just had a deck of fate. It could be a hero's path for something. We don't have a fusion happening this weekend, so maybe they give us a little bit extra incentive to pull some shards. Obviously, if you're interested in the fusion, make sure you save up your shards. You don't really want to go too crazy. It's just a 2x Sacred Shard event. Like, they come around every 6 weeks. And if it's a champion chase event, you're not getting massive value from your Sacred Shards anyways. Sacred Shards should really be used to complete summon rush events during fusions or for special rewards like guaranteed champions or high value rewards. But I would expect a champion chase for this weekend. Maybe Plarium will throw something special in there as well. Anyways, just something to take note of. But yeah, that's going to be it for the upcoming news. So like I said, on Thursday, we have a 24-hour event for the Faction Unity Champions for the Dwarves faction, Sylvan Watchers, and Shadowkin faction. And then we have a 3-day event over the weekend for 2x Sacred Shards, which is boosting the rate from 6% up to 12%, as well as a 10x boost for Usal of the Jade during the weekend as well. I would recommend you guys probably save your shards for the upcoming fusion, which looks pretty cool, but obviously you guys have to make your own decision there and assess your own account. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video here. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about these events, about these champions. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.